Now, the IMF says that action is urgent. So maybe even though we're going into the summer in the Northern Hemisphere, think of the warning as a snowball running down the hill. The longer the conflict lasts, the faster the snowball runs, the more it picks up, and the more pronounced the effects. Now, its economists lay out three scenarios. If the war is short-lived, with energy prices normalizing this year, then you've got 3.1, 4.4. That, in a sense, is the best case scenario. Then you have the adverse scenario. If the war goes on and later this year, and you've got elevated energy prices, Poshrev saying gas stays high, then you've got growth of 2.5 and inflation is 5.4%. Now, we hope we never see the severe scenario, which is where you've really got damage to energy infrastructure. Yes, there has been some, but there could be a great deal more. Then you've got the growth at 2%, inflation at 6%. You can see how the difference is. And those are fairly significant changes. Pierre-Olivier Gourinchas is the chief economist at the IMF. He's with me now, Pierre. We obviously hope we don't see the worst case scenario. We obviously hope for the best case. But the truth is, at this point, you can't tell me with a degree of certainty which it's going to be.
That's exactly right, Richard. And this is why this time, instead of having a baseline, we have what we call the reference forecast, these adverse scenario and then the severe scenario, just to illustrate that there is a range of possibilities. The situation remains very fluid. And right now, of course, any good news that happens brings us closer to the reference forecast, the 3.1% and 4.4% inflation. But every bad news is taking us towards the adverse or the severe scenario.
And the point I was making in the introduction is the numbers don't look dramatically different, 3.4, 3.1, but it's the fact that it's a complete reversal of trend. Things were getting better, and now the word stagflation is back on our lips.
That's exactly right. We were seeing quite a bit of momentum entering into 2026. We were ready to upgrade our forecast to 3.4% just a few days, a few weeks before the war erupted. There was a lot of momentum. The trade, the tariffs, the trade policy uncertainty, a lot of that was in the rearview mirror. There was a lot of momentum with the tech AI investment boom. There was also fiscal support in some countries, a lot of resilience on the private sector part, and easy financial conditions. A lot of these things could be reversed going forward.
How much is baked in? Because I think that's what is very difficult to appreciate. Assuming it all ended tomorrow, there would obviously be time for ships to sail, gas and oil to arrive. How much of the scenario now, as you and I are speaking?
Well, when I talk to my teams here is what they tell me. If everything were to stop tonight and starting tomorrow, we move towards reopening the strait, rebuilding the damaged facilities, etc., we would still be looking at an oil shortfall for the year, the entire year, 2026. That would be on the same order of magnitude as the oil shock in the 1970s, the 1974 oil shock. So this is the size of the shock. Now, of course, the world economy is different now than it was in the 1970s. It's much more energy efficient. It's much less reliant on oil. But this is to give you a sense of the shock right now. And this is what anchors our reference forecast.
Okay, so what would you like countries to do? Because certainly in many cases they are reducing duties on fuels because to give relief to trucking industries, farmers and the like. But that'll merely worsen budget deficits. And I think you and I on many occasions have discussed fiscal headroom, to use the posh phrase, is not there.
No, it's not there. And that's one of the big difference compared to earlier crises. A lot of countries don't have a lot of fiscal space in front of them. And so they have to be very careful. These measures, of course, they're understandable. People want to get help. People want to get help when they go and fill up their gas tank or when you think about transportation or manufacturing. But the money is just not there. So it doesn't mean do nothing. It means whatever you do, it needs to be targeted. It needs to be temporary. And you need to finance it. You need to reprioritize expenses. And you need to raise new revenues if you need to.
Hang on. That's right, raising taxes. which of course is exactly the opposite of what most, because that's also contractory in terms of for economies. If you raise taxes, it will slow things down. I mean, I accept there are no easy solutions here, but does it tell you that I heard today that Scott Bessent, the US Treasury Secretary, basically saying, wait and see to the Fed, rate cuts are on hold, which of course it's not going to be something his boss will agree with, but seems to be the orthodox view now, no rate cuts.
That's right. When we were talking earlier about fiscal policy, but if we turn to monetary policy, it's a negative supply shock. There's nothing that central banks can do, even the Federal Reserve, to affect the price of oil that's coming from the Gulf. That's not going to change the price of oil, the price of gas. So the general prescription is, as long as inflation expectations remain well anchored, as long as there is no broad transmission of this energy price shock into broader inflation, then central banks can just sit tight, wait and see how things develop. And this is certainly our recommendation right now.
Right, but just to your answer there, what would give you reason to believe that there won't be a transmission of that increase? This is not like tariffs in a sense. This is much more rigorous and much more vigorous, and one would expect higher oil prices to transmit themselves into broader price rises.
Well, there will certainly be an impact on headline inflation. This is why we're predicting 4.4% this year,
right,
relative to what we were predicting before. But at the same time, what you want to look for is signs that this is spreading into the broader economy, that it's leading to increases in wages, increase in prices, and it feeds into itself, if you want. And I think this is what central banks have to be watching out carefully for and act and lean against that. Now, we're not there yet. We're not seeing any movements in expected inflation, for instance. And central banks have a lot of credibility. The previous episode, the previous inflation surge, we've seen a disinflation with inflation expectations remaining well anchored. That reflects the credibility of the major central banks, the Federal Reserve, European Central Bank, and others. And that credibility is very important right now. It means they can decide to wait, but they must communicate that they're ready to act very forcefully if needed.
I'm grateful to you, Pierre-Olivier. Thank you for joining us tonight and putting it so succinctly. Thank you, sir. I'm grateful. Now,